I need like my garage office. It's a nice peaceful workspace. So couple of quick testimonies. I'll try to make it quick. Yesterday, some dudes, I was taping up a house, putting green tape where the drywall problems are, blue tape where the paint issues are. And I get done with that, and as I was coming in, I'm just consistently praying for people around me and just seeing if God wants to speak to them through me or have me do something for them that might show them God's love. So I saw these electricians and just praying, and they're doing their work. And so I'm just like, God, give me an opportunity. If it comes up, then it's good. So I'm upstairs finishing the upstairs off, and I had an appointment to go to. So I came downstairs, and these guys were about to leave. And I said, so you guys are done? Like, they were just heading out the door. I'm like, you guys are done with the job? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And so I was like, I see you as a real encourager. Like, he said some word to me when I said that to him that made me feel encouraged. And so I'm like, I just see it. I was listening recently to these guys who are talking about, starting conversations with people. And just one tool is to just say, what do you see them being in a positive sense? So I said, I see you as an encourager. And he's like, brightened up. He's like, thanks. And then I'm like, what if I pray for you? And I just went into, just was filled with the Spirit and was dialoguing with him about things in his life. And, as you're praying for somebody, my eyes were open and I'm praying for him, and I'm noticing him kind of looking over at his partner, who's a lot younger than he is, because I'm getting a little personal and stopping every once in a while, and I'm starting to do this and saying, is this ringing true? Is this true? Just to have, him, so that if he's like, this is crap, that I'll that I'll stop and say, well, what didn't make sense, and then try to pray through that, because that's often happened, or that's happened in my life where, I ask him about things and then figure out what God was actually saying to them through what I was saying. But anyway, that made me aware of this other guy and whether God wanted to speak to him. So I get done with this guy, and then I turn to this other guy and start, and I say, and I see you as, and went through these things, and then asked him, and I talked about a friend of his. I just believed there was this girl in his life that was really depressed, and so I prayed over her and over him in regards to encouraging him, and then asked him, and he's like, absolutely, thank you so much for praying for her. And then I also just asked him about what I was saying about his faith. Like I said, it's like you haven't been trained up in the faith, but you've been introduced to it somehow, and and he's like, and I said, is that true? And he's like, well, I've been baptized. And he started to, people generally at times will try to contradict it, but then it came out that his parents never really did anything with him, that he was brought in by friends, and that's what was encouraging to him. Hey, Dave. Hey. Doing a little testimony time.
Oh, nice.
So this guy, then confirmed that. He's like, yeah, absolutely. This is what happened, like what happened in my life in regards to the faith. And then, so later on that night, so that was kind of a cool experience. And later on yesterday evening, I was with a bunch of dudes, we were praying, this guy's prayer group, and then after it was just talking to people about life. And I was just praising God for how he's taken my unrighteous anger away, just that I've been angry for quite a long time, since I can remember, actually, when I was a little kid, just my reactions to my parents and, their discipline, and my brothers, battling with me, and just how I'd go into rages, and I remember it from very young, and how God had just been healing me of that completely, and how this guy just prayed over me, and just felt such healing over me, and then he just started to speak life over me, like he's just talking about like the times when I was, unhealthily, like my brother used to pin me and we'd wrestle, but he used to, abuse me in ways, and just as an older brother does, but I, it made me very angry and felt helpless and things like that. And he just was like, when you were there, when you were in those places, like Jesus was there with you, and he was crying, and just was like overtaken. So it's kind of a cool, that's a testimony of how another believer had really ministered to me. And he said a bunch more, but I don't want to make this testimony too long. So sayonara.